Hi everyone, my name is Trinity Smith, and I'm going to be talking about The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls for my book talk. I first heard about this book as a recommendation from my high school English teacher in 12th grade. She recommended this book to me as a book that I should read during our free read time. As soon as I started reading it, I just could not put it down. It's an amazing read. So a little about the author and the book. Jeanette Walls wrote this book as a memoir, so it does follow her life and her family's life during her early childhood to adult years. Most of her life, you'll discover that her family, mainly her parents, did make poor decisions in regards to money, um, jobs, their lifestyle, and parenting skills, and things like that. They were very anti-materialistic, and you'll find later in the book that they ultimately choose the lifestyle of a homeless family. So they do willingly look through trashes, live in unhealthy living conditions, and raise their family in that anti-materialistic lifestyle. A few elements of the story that I found really interesting. First is how many symbols are in this book. First, they talk about stars a lot. You'll find that Jeanette's father actually gifted his children stars to kind of show how anti materialistic he was. And it makes them appreciate how their mind thinks of these things. Another interesting theme I found was a how growing up can shape your views on life. Throughout the story, you see how Jeanette's love and appreciation and hope for her father kind of diminishes as she grows older. She notices that his lifestyle changes are not something that benefits her health and her family's health in the long run. So you kind of see how you grow up your aspects, how you view things change. And then finally, I think how she explains the characters. So herself, she kind of shows how at first she's very hopeful as a child, but as I said before, this hope kind of diminishes as she realizes rights and wrongs in the world and what's right and wrong with how her family lives their lifestyle. Rex Wells, the father, has the ideology that the family should get up and leave whenever times get tough. He often has his family do things such as do the skedaddle in the middle of the night, meaning that they just need to pack their things up and leave. This could be for a variety of reasons. You'll find that many of these are very interesting as you read. And then finally, Rosemary Wells. This is the mother of the story. She is kind of very controversial in my opinion. You can tell, definitely has a love for her family. However, makes very poor and I would say selfish lifestyle changes that Jeanette definitely notices as she gets older. So, why should you read this book? I think this book is very interesting because it shows a whole new lifestyle that I don't think we talk much about. This is of a family that chooses the homeless lifestyle, and one of those family members and her siblings, they decide to escape this lifestyle. And are actually embarrassed of how their family grew up, and they don't talk about it much to the people around them. So I think it kind of gives you a whole new perspective on something that you maybe really didn't think a bunch about. I just thought it was really interesting seeing some of the living conditions and such that they lived in, but they thought this was like gold. They thought it was an amazing lifestyle. A quote that really drew me from the book was later that night, Dad stopped the car out in the middle of the desert and we slept under the stars. We had no pillows, but Dad said that was a part of the plan. He was teaching us to have good posture. The Indians didn't use pillows either, he explained, and look how straight they stood. We did have our scratchy arm surplus blankets, so we spread them out and lay there looking at the field of stars. I told Lori how lucky we were to be sleeping out in the sky like Indians. We could live like this forever, I said. I think we're going to, she said. This was page 18 of The Glass Castle. I just really like this excerpt from that story because it kind of shows how hopeful and how trusting Jeanette is at the beginning of the story. But as you read along, you notice how she does not believe these things anymore. Um, her main hope in her father was that Rex Wells was going to build his family this glass castle and they were going to live this amazing life. And everything that they did in the story was leading up to this glass castle, and you can just see how the trust in her father really goes downhill after this. So I do have a few artifacts that represent this story well. First, I have this drawing. I'm not an artist, but this represents Jeanette in her older lifestyle, riding in a limo to her dream of a glass castle. Unfortunately, her mother did not follow her to this dream, and she is still ravishing through the dumpsters, living these homeless lifestyle. So this is leading up to what Jeanette would have liked in the world. However, unfortunately, because of her family's lifestyle, she wasn't able to achieve that. Another artifact I have is a trash bag. This can represent how their family packed things up in such a hurry while doing the skedaddle. Things in this bag can include books, clothing, and all of these things were really unplanned because it was such a hurry in the middle of the night. I think that if you'd like to get a different outlook on how another family can live, The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls is a great read for that. Thank you.